10 trivia about Japan. Number 1. Japanese is not the official language of Japan, and Tokyo is not the capital of Japan. The Japanese did not have clear laws to regulate their official language and capital. Although the Japanese use Japanese in school education and daily life, Japanese is not the official language prescribed by the Japanese government. It is worth mentioning that the Republic of Palau is currently the only country in the world that uses Japanese as its official language. It is an island country located in the Pacific Ocean. In 1950, after the Second World War, Japan established the capital construction law and prepared Tokyo as the capital. By 1956, the bill was abolished and no new bill was replaced. There is a word in Japan called the capital circle. Tokyo is included in this circle, and there are many other cities in this circle. Number 2. Volcanoes, tsunamis, and earthquakes are the three main protagonists of Japanese news. Japan's geographical location is very special. At the junction of the Asia and European plates, the Pacific plate, and the American plate, the Japanese archipelago is formed by the collision and interaction of these three plates. The geology of the entire island is very young, and earthquakes can occur when various plates collide. The earthquake is as many as 3 or 4 times a day. Because Japan is in the volcanic belt of the Pacific Rim, there are many volcanoes. Therefore, even Japanese student bags are designed with disaster prevention features. In addition, the island is surrounded by the sea, so when the earthquake occurred on the seabed, Japan will also be hit by the tsunami. Number 3. The average sleep time of Tokyo people is 5 hours and 46 minutes, the shortest in the world. The main reason for this situation is Japanese workplace system and culture. Although Japan is also a weekend system, almost 30 years have passed, and the Japanese annual working hours have not been shortened, and it is still more than 2,000 hours. In other words, the Japanese actually worked for a long time, and the rest time was short, which in turn affected the sleep time. Although most companies in Japan work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., there are few people who actually get off work at 5 p.m. Even if there is no work efficiency, you have to work overtime. In addition, the Japanese advocate a collective culture, and it is the safest way to get along with everyone. If you don't socialize, you will be crowded out by your colleagues. This kind of socialization often lasts until late at night, which seriously affects the normal rest. In Japan, sleeping in the office is a big taboo, so there are a lot of places to pay for lunch breaks. Number 4. The 3 top surnames in Japan are Sato, Suzuki, Takahashi. According to a survey report by a famous Japanese insurance company, the 3 most popular surnames in Japan are Sato, Suzuki, and Takahashi. There are 1.94 million, 1.82 million, and 1.43 million people with these 3 surnames. Japanese people are also used to calling someone else's surname instead of their name. If someone goes to find someone called Sato, there will be several Sato to agree. Number 5. Doraemon is the official citizen of Kawasaki City. Doraemon is a comic character in Japan. It can take out a can of interesting props from its own pocket, which is very popular among Japanese people. In the original comic book, the birth date of Doraemon is September 3rd, 2112. So on the day of September 3rd, 2012, The Kawasaki city government had registered a special resident registration certificate for Doraemon. Number 6. Japan is not the birthplace of sumo. Sumo is a sport similar to wrestling. It is an elegant career in Japan and a national skill in Japan. But the sport actually originated in China. It was introduced to Japan during the Tang Dynasty and has now become the national movement of Japan. So far, Japan's sumo competition has been held 6 times a year, in January, March, May, July, September, and November, and has become one of the people's favorite sports. Number 7. The green villain at a safety exit was designed by the Japanese. This whole but green cartoon villain is called Pictogram. Japan has an interesting website, Pictogram Association, which introduced him like this: "We are full of Mr. Picto in our lives, but you don't know how pitiful he is. He always suffers misfortunes, falls, hits his head, falls, and gets caught. And these are self-sacrifices to remind people of the dangers. For such Mr. Pictogram, we should pay tribute to him." Number 8. In Japan, after the woman divorces, she is not allowed to marry within 100 days. This provision is said to be in order to prevent the occurrence of the situation in which the father of the fetus cannot be determined. Later, after amendments and supplements, if a divorced woman can issue a certificate of a doctor who is not pregnant at the time of divorce, she can remarry within 100 days. However, the UN Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women has always raised objections to this provision, arguing that it is an over-constraining of women and still discriminates against women. Number 9. Don't casually ask Japanese girls for their phone numbers. For many Japanese girls, exchanging phone numbers is a super scared thing. She may mistakenly think that you are confessing to her. Serious may make her think that you are proposing to her. Number 10. Japanese iPhone photo sounds cannot be removed. This request was imposed by the Japanese government to force Apple to do so, in order to prevent sneak shots. The culprit of this setting was a photographer called Seth Masato, who took several sets of photos on the subway and later won awards for these works. But after the work was published, the person who was photographed felt that he was offended. This prompted the Japanese mobile phone to cancel the photo mute.